Okay, guys, I think I'm live. Hello. Let's see whether I'm already live. So, okay, welcome back for those. Today I will be talking about some topic on chi or energy. So for those who are new right here, I usually do like a weekly session on sharing my thoughts about anything that is related on about metaphysics, like literally anything. So most of the time I will be sharing more on application basis. I don't really want to go deep down into the technical bits about some informations, like if you want to know how to read a chart or talking about more detailed elemental stuff, that one you can actually go and find out more in my page if you're following my page, or if not, you can just drop me a message or something. But because I feel that many times we all get so focused in the kind of information we get, we don't really truly understand the concept behind it. So at the end of the day, um, the information is not going to be that useful if there is no understanding or application in terms of understanding behind all this information. Because I realize many times people would like to ask the same question in just a different context, because it's a very clear cut thing. It's lack of understanding of the whole concept. Okay, so my sharing mostly are gonna be things on conceptual or an application basis. Okay, so for those who would like to view my other videos, I've done, like, I think this is my fifth live video. I do every week, every Friday. Usually will be around afternoon. Today I'm slightly late. Usually I'll do it like during lunch hour. So yeah, so feel free to follow me, give me some likes, some thumbs up. And if you want to know more, drop me a message, and just feel free, chat with me and stuff like that. Okay, I can't really see my comments here, so I'm just going to use my phone. So guys, today I'm going to be sharing on the basics of metaphysics. And I think in terms, not just in Chinese metaphysics, I think in terms of all types of metaphysics. Um, because many times when people like to ask, like, what is metaphysics, right? It's very difficult to explain. So most of the time, how do I actually answer is I always say that, oh, we actually study the pattern of energy. And then after that, I will start explaining, because most of the people, whenever I said, oh, studying about energy, they were like, huh, like what kind of energy are you talking about? Physics? Yeah, literally, right? It's metaphysics. So most of the time we are very familiar with the term energy, okay, in a scientific way. The ones that we study in the school, if you do study science, it's energy, right? Energy comes from it's produced. Even if we clap our hands, energy is being produced, just that we can't see it, but the energy is manifested through perhaps a sound, or perhaps the heat, right? So these are, we can't see the energy, but we can feel the effect of the energy. Okay, so most people understand energy in that terms, right? So if you're studying science, okay, you would know this by now. And because all these things like clap or heat, it's measurable. The heat is measurable in temperature. The clap, the sound of it is measurable through the frequency and the hertz. But energy is more than that. Okay, we first must understand and believe that in all human, in all living things, right, it's a form of energy. Yeah. So first and foremost is like, we are all energy beings. This is one thing that I think we all should know. And if you, let me share my screen, if you are a believer of science, technically you do believe on metaphysics. Okay, it's just that perhaps many of these years, there's a lot of misconception on what is metaphysics, because it do sometimes very hard. It is very hard to explain sometimes how we can analyze something so accurately, to the extent that that thing really happened. So sometimes it's a bit hard to explain why and how, but the idea behind everything is through the concept of the existence of this chi and energy, right? So at the end of the day, what is chi and energy? If anyone asks, well, most of the time people use the word energy. In Chinese metaphysics, we use the word chi. Technically, it's the same thing. Even when it comes to Western astrology, it's still about energy. It's the same. Okay, it's just different language, I would say. Okay, so first, wait, hold on. Let me share this first. Okay, guys, if find this really cool, please share my post. And yeah, I can't really see things now because um I think it's strange that we can't see things right now. Yeah, okay, so got it. Okay. So this is this. Okay, what is chi and energy? Okay. If you are a believer of gravity, okay, let me go back. Oh no. Okay, if you are a believer of gravity, okay, technically you do believe there is chi, the existence of chi. Okay, why? Okay, like I did mention earlier on just now, energy is everywhere. All right, energy is everywhere, and one of the earliest human understanding about energy is gravity. And the thing is, we all live through gravity, not until one day Einstein discovered that this gravity exists, and that is the reason why we are on the ground. We literally, and what he did was he studied E equals to mc squared, blah blah blah, and came up with a measurable figure on how to see gravity, on how to measure gravity. So the idea is this, right? You know it exists because you can calculate it, and because Einstein told that, discovered it, but you cannot see it, you cannot touch it. How can we touch gravity? How can we hold gravity? So it's the same thing, but we know that it exists. We can feel the force. Example, you are standing on the ground, you can feel the force. So that itself is energy, right? So if you believe on gravity, you believe that energy is around us, okay? But it's not just only about understanding that it's around us, okay? What I want to emphasize here in this video is this: many people always have this wrong idea about metaphysics is so much of a woo-woo thing. Like it's not real, it doesn't exist, it's all in your mind. Well, I would say yes and no, okay, but and I'm going to explain my thought about it at the end of the session. It's yes and no, seriously, because I see it as yes and no, okay, because like I said, it's so difficult to explain, but I'm still going to try to explain. and and the thing is it science? Yes and no. Okay, it's still yet to be defined. Actually, there's this, it's a very hard thing to define, because at the end of the day there are still so many things that is unable to be proven. We only can see many things now, we only can see the effect of the energy, we cannot see the energy. Correct? Like I did a very clear example was that when I clap my hand, okay, we know that there is this energy that causes the sound that had happened, and that is the sound itself is an effect of energy, the existence of energy, right? So this is this one. Okay, the next thing is, when there is energy around us, right, inside us is also energy. Okay, so this is where the part where said about whether is it a woo-woo thing or non-woo-woo thing, I say yes and no, because if until today, right, what we all know is that we all have chi inside, but no one has actually measured it in like Einstein. But do you remember back then, many years ago, there's this camera whereby whenever they capture, they take a picture of you and you can see the ring light, like see this, like this is the sample of it. Okay, so this is actually capturing your energy, the energy that is coming from you. Okay, so basically we ourselves, okay, human beings are just a physical form of an energy. So remember when I said that gravity is a type of energy, but you just can't see it? Well, we are a type of energy, but you can see it, because the kind of energy that is in us, it manifests through a physical form. Okay? So yeah, basically all of us are just energy beings. So if you can see very clearly in this picture, right? um, it's us coming radiating out that kind of energy. There's a reason why sometimes, right, you can feel people, like we all say like, oh, how come, like whenever you 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 be with someone, or perhaps when you're not feeling right, uh you just can feel it, you don't know why. Okay, so because this is energy. But the thing is, energy also are energy is flowing, it's not constant. Just like if you want to put it in a physics form, energy is constantly vibrating. Imagine like the air itself, you can't see, but they're actually atoms and molecules. So all these molecules are actually shaking. It's just that we can't see with our bare eyes. And this kind of shaking, okay, is causing this kind of energy and vibration. Okay, so basically, inside of us human beings are also like this. We all have all these small molecules, small atoms inside us that is vibrating. And sometimes whenever we feel not right, they perhaps will vibrate in a certain type of frequency that of course we don't know, and or perhaps I personally don't know about it. So we are all just moving. We are so Our vibrations will change. When our vibration change, it means our mood change, right? So when our energy shift, how we feel actually shift. And at the end of the day, how we feel will cause us to react or respond to a certain things, right? So there's more than just about, number one, knowing that energy exists. Number two, knowing that we are just human with energy inside. Number three, there is a reason why we do certain things, because like I mentioned, is because of certain energy change, right? So this is one thing that we all have to understand, and we all have to know that it exists. Like I said at the very beginning, if you know and believe that gravity exists, you do believe that energy exists, and you do believe that chi exists. Okay, but it's just that we all don't really study them very in depth in science. Okay, that's why it's called metaphysics rather than physics. Meta, is something that we can't see, but it's physics at the same time. Okay, so we are all energy beings that will be affected by every other energy beings as well. Okay, so same goes, okay, to because like I mentioned earlier, right, it's there are few factors on how our chi will be affected. One very easy way is to look it in terms of internal chi. We have our internal chi. So our internal chi is something that we can't really choose. Basically, it's more like when you do your astrology chart or your parts chart, whatever it's you are when you are born in a certain time, day, month, and year, that configuration itself will produce a chi which is specifically and unique for you as a person. So we call this the internal chi. Okay. So it's just that nowadays, whenever we read an astrology chart or a parts chart, okay, we can see the chi in writing because someone has already translated them writing, just like how someone has actually translated gravity Einstein translated gravity into a certain figure. That's why we can see them and we know it exists. Okay, so same goes. There's an internal chi, which is your astrology chart. You can study through your astrology chart or your 八字 chart. Uh, but then these things are not stagnant. Your astrology chart is your constitutional, your default that is given to you, but it's not permanent because like chi itself is constantly moving. It's not like straight, hard, and fixed. Every chi is moving. Yeah, we cannot create or destroy chi. Chi can only flow from in to out or out to in. We only can move the chi and flow the chi. Chi cannot be created or destroyed. Have to remember that. And it's the same concept in physics. So for those who learn physics, you should know this is a Newton's law. Energy cannot be destroyed nor created, right? So it's the same. Even our internal chi is the same. So we cannot say like we want to delete this chi, we want to delete this certain energy inside of us. It's impossible, but we can adjust it. But sometimes it's very hard for us to adjust it if we don't know how to do it and we are not conscious about it. And besides that, it's not as simple as us wanting to do it. You know, sometimes it's out of control. Why? It's because we are living also in an external form, right? And even external form itself has its energy, right? So imagine in this screen right here, you're looking, right? There's two energy form coming together. So imagine there are two different type of energy connecting to each other or interacting with each other. So what will happen? We as human beings will get affected by the change of energy around us. And that is the concept of feng shui and time, right? That's the reason why sometimes when we go to a certain place, we get more inspired. When we go to a certain place, we feel very sad. Whenever we go to certain place, we feel happier. Whenever you're with someone else, you also feel happier. And sometimes you're with this person, you feel sad. Why? It's because this person and that person is radiating out different type of energy and it will affect you, your default energy. And if you are in this space, okay, and the energy perhaps is slightly lower, okay, you also will interact with this low energy and will affect you somehow, right? I'm giving a very layman term here because I don't want to confuse you with the type of energy that exists yet, okay? Because that is the technical bit. But now it's more important to understand the foundation and the concept of why are we like this, basically. Why sometimes you have bad mood? Why sometimes you just feel tired? Why sometimes you fall sick? Why sometimes you are healthier? Why? Right? So why sometimes you are just bad luck, right? So in Chinese metaphysics, we like to use the word luck as your chi. Yeah. So chi itself is a luck, and good luck means good chi, bad luck means bad chi. Simple as that, right? So that's why sometimes people will say, oh, they will say they get bad luck. Why? Well, we need to understand, is it internally you're causing your own bad luck? Or you are affected by your surrounding, creating this type of chi and bad luck. We have to understand that. That is why coming this 2021, okay, every year actually the energy shift almost every year. The energy do shift every year. Okay, so when the energy shift every year, what will happen is the environment will change and it will affect you differently as well, right? So you cannot expect, okay, whatever you're feeling in 2020 or whatever you experience in 2020 will be the same as 2021, even though you're living the same, you're doing the same thing all over again. Why? It's because 2021, okay, is a different year and different energy. And you may wonder, okay, why does it change? Where this kind of energy comes from, right? Well, it comes from the cosmos, basically, the galaxy, the universe. So the whenever in Western astrology, okay, or in Chinese astrology, we determine the energy source and we study the energy through the stars, basically. Yeah, and each stars also have the elements. And in Western astrology, if I'm not mistaken, they also study the planets, and the planets are like equivalent of our stars. It's the same, it's just using different name. And each planets have each elements as well. So whenever these kind of stars and the planets, whenever they move to a certain configuration, it will actually create a different type of energy. That's the reason why in our so-called like energy change every minute, every second. It's just that we can't feel it because it's so gradual. But of course, when we look at an overall 1 year, we can see a huge change of it, right? So 2021 and 2020, it's a 12 months gap. So we can, if we study in terms of pattern, the overall energy and the overall feel of the year is totally different. Why? In a solar system, it's keep moving, right? The stars, the moon, the whatever, it keep moving. So with that movement itself, it creates energy. And those are the things that is creating all this kind of energy, right? So basically, that is the reason why, okay, we all will feel differently next year. We all will experience different next year because, okay, we are affected by the external energy. For example, if today you do the same thing, next year, the same time, you do the same thing, but you will experience different things because the kind of energy is different, right? So it's important to understand that our energy can be shifted and can be manipulated or changed, okay, through the time and the space. Okay, it means where you are. All right. So this is one thing about energy, it's not fixed. It changes, you cannot destroy, and you cannot create. Okay. The next thing is to understand there are two type of energy. Okay, whenever we talk about energy and energy and energy, there's two type of energy. And because I'm a Chinese metaphysics practitioner, and there is a reason why I show this, the yin and yang. And there's two type of energy. But if you want to translate it in terms of Western astrology, I think we can use it as the masculine energy and the feminine energy, right? But what is most important is understanding the concept behind it. Yeah, whatever term that we use here is just the language, okay? Because every philosophers in this world, they find out the same thing, it's just expressed differently. Okay, so there's two type of energy, the yin and the yang. Okay, it's important to understand this also. Why? Is because we must know whatever we do today, or whatever we feel, or whatever we want to achieve, okay, we need energy, right? We need the chi. But what kind of chi do you need? Many people, whenever they come to wanting to achieve something, right? It's I think it's quite common. It's like, oh, you want to get the pen, it is there, right? The pen is here. Okay, the action that you need to take, the energy that you need to put out is an action of moving towards the pen and take the pen, right? So movement itself is a type of energy that me as a human take and do in order to take the pen, right? So this is what we call as yang energy, right? The movement, the human movement using external activity. Okay, so that's why whenever we want to get something, right? Whenever we want to live, just say we want to live as a human being, we need to eat. The eating activity, okay, is a form of yang energy because it's a movement, it's an action, right? But in order to survive as a human being, before even you want to eat, you first need to feel hungry, correct? And the action and feeling the hunger is actually a yin energy. Otherwise, you won't even know that you need to physically go and eat something, right? So what I'm saying is, okay, us as human beings, we incorporate many yin and yang flow in our life in order to survive. Okay, one the example that I just shared earlier on when about eating, you feel hungry, the feeling hungry that's coming from inside is the yin energy, the yin side that's talking to us. And the part whereby we take the food and eat, that's the yang side. Okay, this is just an example of a survival mode. Okay, but what if um, you want to achieve something in your life, you want to get the job that you want, you want to run and achieve the kind of business success that you want. Okay, most of the thing that people will cross their mind is this: oh, I need to act on it. Yeah, action is very important, don't get me wrong. Yeah, action, you need to act on it. Yes, you need to act on it. Okay, but think about it first. Yeah, many people miss out this part. Energy comes in two. Prior for you to act, what is the one very important thing that you need to internally this do in order for you to act? You first need to have the drive. You first need to have the feeling of wanting it. You first need to have a commitment. You know, commitment is actually prior to actually doing it, right? You need to feel committed to want to do it, the drive, the purpose, and everything, right? So even without all this feeling coming up from the inside of you, when you physically do it and achieve it, right, it won't last long. I can tell you that usually it won't last long. There's a reason why the existence of both yin and yang at the same time is very important. Okay. Of course, when I refer by existing the time itself, it doesn't have to be like in milliseconds. But what I'm saying is, when you want to achieve something, we cannot just always do the action bit. Yeah. Because it's not going to work if your inside, your internal side, your mindset, your need, your purpose is not there. So many people, right, actually forget about the yin side, because I think mainly the baby boomers era, okay, life is tougher back then. The yin side has always been neglected. That's why there's many angry people, and there's very um what we call it and the alignment of the yin and yang is very big. The differences is very big. Yeah, some of them don't even have yin, some are overly yang and stuff like that. When it coexists, doesn't mean it's still. It shift. Yeah, because the harmony exists. Okay, is because of the shift. So when whatever we do in life, or whatever we want to achieve in life, it's important to have these two factors coexist within a time. Okay, just like next year. Okay, you don't know what's going to happen, of course, if unless you know Chinese metaphysics. You'll study the patterns and you'll find out. But I can tell you, it's not going to be any easy year. Okay, so like I said earlier on, the energy will affect us as human beings, and it will affect our emotions. And whenever it will affect us, okay, it will also affect our actions, our decisions, and everything. You know, we feel bad and stuff like that. So next year will be a year whereby I personally would focus a lot on emotional health and also the wealth aspects. Okay, so for that matter, all right, it's very important for us to establish these two internal and external, or yin and yang energy. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm sharing this today, because it's more than just about doing and surviving, or doing and be successful next year or the rest of your life. Okay, it's also about the internal side, right? So in a Chinese metaphysics perspective, or perhaps if you are into other type of modalities, the yin side of practice is the grounding exercise, the mindset, the meditation if you do, the law of attraction, the desire, cultivating inner peace, happiness, joy, and things like that. So this is very important, especially as now it's getting colder, as in the weather itself. And when it's getting colder, it means the energy itself is not very nice for many people. So it's very important for us to feel more grounded in a way, because there's a lot of fear going on and a lot of sadness. And it's very important to cultivate the yin aspect. It means the grounding, the meditation, the manifestation, whatever practice that is cultivating your inner self, right? Because many times, whenever we see problems in life, we are just reacting to it rather than responding to it. That's why that is why it's important when we come to next year, or perhaps even tomorrow, or perhaps even after this, right? Try to internalize things. Yeah, especially today is a close day. If I'm not mistaken, it's a close day. It's a very good day for you to end something and start a new thing. So it's a very good day for you to start planning on next year, what you're gonna do, and how you're gonna achieve your dreams and things like that. So, but it's important to know that in order to achieve your dreams, it's not just about acting. Okay, you need to cultivate the yin side as well, because you know what? It's the harmony between the yin and yang flow. Okay, so this is the concept basically, and whatever I'm sharing with you right now is not just about trying to achieve something in your life or business. Okay, it's also trying to achieve perhaps simple things like your health. It's not very simple, sorry. Things like your health is something that people always like to neglect. So in the health aspect, how can we apply the yin and yang? Well, the yang side, of course, you perhaps need to do your exercise. You need to wake up early, live a better lifestyle. And the yin aspect, you want to meditate, you want to silence yourself down, you want to cut off all your negativity thoughts and things like that, right? So this is when you want to apply to the health aspect. Even if you want to improve your relationship with your spouse, or improve relationship with anyone else, right? It's also both yin and yang. So when I talk about action, I personally always don't mean physically acting on it, right? It also means internalizing your chi inside. Let your yin side activate as well, and that's how you create a yin and yang flow. Okay, it's not something that it's not something that it's easy to do, especially when it comes to the yin side, because it's something that is not very familiar to many people. Because that's the reason why if you don't meditate and you start meditating one day and you silent down, it's very hard for you to get into meditative state. When I first started meditation, I actually vomit continuously for a few days. That is so bad, because I started to realize there are so many dirts and shit inside me, my internal me, right? That's why my body reacted as a vomit. And some people actually had migraines. Many people had different things, but this is the effect of it. It's very hard for you to start, to be honest, if you're not familiar with it. But this is my advice. This is the only way for us. Perhaps I think this is the best way for us to live, not just for 2021. Okay, so generally, this is the concept of the yin and yang energy. You can apply this concept in your life. Actually, that's what I think. It's more than just the yang side, right? We need to always not forget about the yin side of us, the feminine side of us, for those who are doing Western astrology. Yes, so survival itself doesn't always mean chasing. It can always also mean stillness, right? In fact, when we practice stillness, we are actually doing a lot as well. Okay, it's just a perception that many people don't used to have back then. Okay, now I think it's time to share with everyone that, you know what, this is the truth, because energy does exist both in yin and yang. It's the concept. We also have yin and yang, but if we suppress one side, it means your chi is not flowing well inside. Therefore, it's hard for you to be even happy or to even achieve what you want in life. Okay, be it in your business, career, relationship, whatsoever. Okay, so oh my god, so guys, this is it. This, I hope I have provided sufficient insight. This is just concept, really. Perhaps I can provide more or better. I'm not sure, because this is really what I've learned through understanding metaphysics itself in general. That's why I always believe that metaphysics do not just teach the technical bit to know what's happening and stuff, but there's so much wisdom about life itself in the core of metaphysics. And the core of metaphysics is actually this Tai Chi symbol that you're seeing, the yin and yang, the energy. Okay, that's why it's energy flow, the chi flow and stuff like that. Of course, if you want to improve your chi flow and everything like that, if you can't control it by yourself, you can always adjust your environment. So if the environment is great, the environment is perfect for your own chi, that's how feng shui works, by the way. Feng shui is not really about putting stuff around your house. It's about feeling and react. Perhaps our body reacts to the kind of chi flow in our environment, and that's why we kind of like gel in together smoothly. That's why we all say in Cantonese very son, very free, very smooth, very flowy. Okay. So yeah, so everything is chi basically. So we are all the same. We are all connected. Even if I can't feel you physically right now, you're in the screen, I'm on the screen, but we are physically, we are connected in a way because vibrations. Okay, so this is the idea about chi and energy. Okay, so there I reach the end of my sharing for today. Well, I'll be back again. I hope I've provided enough insights for you to think about. And today is a very good day for you to start planning on 2020. It's a close day. Yeah. So it's good for you to actually, when you plan ahead, you want to think about the yin and yang aspect of your activity. Right. So guys, thank you for your time and thank you for watching this. I hope I provided you enough insights to actually help you use metaphysics in a simple way in your daily life. Okay. And I'll see you next week around the same time in the afternoon next Friday. And for those who are interested to know more about the astrology, I will be having my webinar on 2021, the Metal Ox Chinese astrology. I'll be doing a free webinar. You can actually register them if you're following my page. Yes, please follow my page and please share this video out. So you can actually register. It's a free webinar 2021 talk whereby I'll be sharing about the animal signs and what kind of energy and stuff like that. So you can actually share them, register them. It's free. And yeah, you can actually read and study the energy that will be affecting you and also your friends, your family, your colleagues, and everyone else. Okay, because it's a free webinar. Feel free to join, and I'll also be having special guests who will be attending the webinar and be sharing good insights apart from metaphysics. Okay, so thank you very much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.